I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. This is Locked On Warriors. Are Warriors fans taking success for granted? Are the Warriors taking success for granted? And what does this team need to do after a nice but fairly unprofessional win against the Portland Trail Blazers to get back on the right track during this upcoming 5-game road trip? All that and more, Locked On Warriors right now.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. Welcome to Locked On Warriors, and thank you for making Locked On Warriors your first listen of the day. We are free and available on all platforms. Warriors beat the Portland Trail Blazers 104-94 last night at Chase Center. Uninspiring performance by the Golden State Warriors, to say the least. Steph Curry hit 6 threes, so the record still 10 away. He did lead the Warriors in scoring with 22 points. A nice game from Otto Porter, 15 points off the bench, 20 from Jordan Poole, who was 5 of 14 from the floor. He could use a nice get-back right game here. Nothing crazy about this contest. The Warriors were clearly gunning for the record for Steph Curry, and he was getting open looks. They just weren't going. Curry ends up just 6 for 17 on the night from beyond the arc. Remember when that kind of stat line was absolutely insane? Now it's pretty unimpressive. It was simply a game that the Warriors were never going to lose, and that they probably gave too much credence to messing around with. They probably, even though they were never going to lose, they probably just were gunning for that record a little bit too much. And I understand why, and it would have been cool had Steph done it, but the commentary before the game from both fans and media alike was a little presumptuous, just a smidge. ESPN showed up because they thought Steph could get the record. It was 16 three-pointers away. That's the record. It would have been cool, and it's certainly plausible that Steph Curry could knock down 16 three-pointers on any given night. We're talking about 48 points right there. That's if he never goes inside the arc. That's if he never shoots a free throw. It was a little bit presumptuous from everyone to think that it could. That was about a 1%, maybe even less percent chance that it would happen, because it had to get going right away, and it clearly did not for Stephen Curry. I think he missed his first 4 3-point shots, and after that, the Warriors didn't really know what to do. And credit to Otto Porter, credit to Andrew Wiggins, who had a okay game. Credit to Draymond Green, who was active with 8 assists and 10 rebounds. Like, credit to the team, they figured something out. They made a way, found a way to win. But it was an unprofessional performance, at least by the standards the Warriors have set earlier this season. And hell, they said on Monday. Right? I thought Monday was as professional a performance as the Warriors have had all campaign. They just whooped up on the Orlando Magic, even after falling behind early. This was pretty ho-hum. And that's honestly the point that I think I want to make most in this episode of Locked On Warriors. And again, thank you for listening. Don't take winning for granted. Don't pretend that what the Warriors are doing right now is the new normal. I'm not saying that it's not going to continue. Far from it. I do think it's going to continue. I think it's going to continue for years to come. I think that this team is in a great position, not just now, but for the future as well. And unlike Cyrus, I'm not an unabashed homer. I just look at the team that they were playing last night, and I think that it could all go awry very quickly. Let's take a moment to analyze what's going on with the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard has now talked himself into a corner. He's leaking. He's denying the leaks. He's leaking. He's denying the leaks. He has built a brand off of loyalty and anti-super teams for the last 6-7 years. It has made him a ton of money and won him a lot of admiration. But now he is in a bind because he's bigger than the market. He's caught his shoelaces in the grates, and they have tied around. There's a real problem there that I'm not sure how it gets resolved, because Portland can't get rid of Dame Lillard, and Dame Lillard has built an entire public persona around, I play for Portland. I play for the small market team. I win it here. And he's not going to win it there. He was never going to win it there. The one year he had a chance to win it there, the Golden State Warriors without Kevin Durant showed up and absolutely gave him the business for 4 straight games. In fact, going as far to sort of give them a hint. Here, sir, would you like this trip to the NBA Finals? And then snatching it away from him. This is a bad team, the Portland Trail Blazers. It's certainly bad when Dame Lillard is on the bench. It's certainly bad when CJ McCollum is out with a collapsed lung. And by the way, I don't think CJ McCollum plays another game for the Portland Trail Blazers. This is a team that is stuck in the middle and has nowhere else to go unless they want to go down, which I will never advocate for because, as Warriors fans can attest, we've seen the bottom. It is rough. And I think that's where I want to accentuate this point. Warriors fans, you know what the bottom looks like. You know how hard it is to win. Do not take winning for granted. Do not look at the Warriors situation currently, where you are 25 games into the season. You're almost 30% of the way through. You are the best team in the NBA by record. You're the best team in the NBA by net rating. You're the best team in the NBA by watchability. The only team that comes close to you are the Phoenix Suns. That's it. Not the Brooklyn Nets, not the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks when it's all said and done. But right now, like, you're the best team in the NBA, and you're doing it with an egalitarian style. You're doing it with style. I mean, just flow and style, and you're entertaining as all hell. It's very 2014, 2015 vibes. You got people out here, clapping back on Andrew Wiggins, saying, "Oh, I told you this was going to be a good trade," as if anyone thought that getting rid of D'Angelo Russell was a bad idea. It was a nadir following the greatest 5-year run that any team, I think, in the history of the NBA has ever put on the court. Do not take this for granted. It should not bounce back this way. It is insane that it has bounced back this way. Nobody saw 21-4. Nobody saw first seed in the NBA. No one saw first seed in the Western Conference even. No one saw best team in the league, and it's really only close with one other team. No one saw this coming. And that's not to say it won't continue, and that's not to say it will continue. All this to just say, don't take it for granted. Enjoy this. The Portland Trail Blazers were a very good team at one point. Second best team in the Western Conference, arguably, probably not actually, probably third. But they were a team that fancied themselves a title contender. They were 1 or 2 players away from winning a title in their eyes. And it wasn't that far of a stretch to say, hey, there might be something there. There might be something there. Dame Lillard was playing out of his gourd. CJ McCollum was a nice number 2 option. They had dudes. They had depth. They were ready to rumble. That was a good team in a great city, and they were right there on the precipice. And now look where they're at. Dysfunction. It's chaos. Neil Oshi's out. That was a long time coming. They have a coach that probably shouldn't have gotten the job in the first place for a multitude of reasons, including sexual assault allegations. I mean, it's a hot mess. You got Lillard, who, again, just talking himself into a corner. You got McCollum, who I don't think is going to play again. And I do think that it's going to be a while before he can even be healthy to play again. But I would imagine that they trade CJ McCollum perhaps to Philadelphia for Ben Simmons before all this is said and done. And I don't think that fixes the problem for Portland. This is a team that is owned in trust. This is a team that can be sold at any moment. This is a team that plays in one of the smaller markets in the NBA. This is a team that cannot attract big-time free agents because they're right up on the cap, and they are not a luxury tax team. This is a very bad spot to be in because there is no value in mediocrity in the NBA. Cool, you made the playoffs. Who cares? Cool, you won a round. That's nice. Are you going to win 2 next year? Are you going to win 3 the year after that? You're going to win 4 when it's all said and done? Not this team. Not the Portland Trail Blazers. Their best basketball is behind them, and everybody knows it. And what the team that they put on the floor last night was not good. They played Ben McLemore 25 minutes. I mean, Dennis Smith got 41 minutes last night. He's their third point guard. It's tough sledding. I feel for the people of Portland because they deserve a better basketball situation than the one that they have. But it's just a reminder. Portland and Golden State are not as different as you would think. They aren't. Neither of those markets are going to attract the marquee free agents. I don't know how the Warriors got Kevin Durant, considering everything. Maybe just the world has changed a little bit too much in the last couple of years. But now the marquee free agents, they go to LA, they go to Brooklyn, and if they're feeling saucy, they go to Miami. If they had a team in Las Vegas, it'll be on the Miami scale. Everybody else is fighting. Now, there is a second tier. Don't get me wrong, a second tier of Chicago and Philadelphia and maybe Boston. Forgive me if I forget anybody here. Dallas and Atlanta and San Francisco with the Golden State Warriors. That's a second tier. That's where a lot of guys go, but it's not the marquee. It's not the marquee. It's not the top billing for free agent cities. And then there's Portland. It's a great city. It's a really fantastic city. Then again, I look like a guy who likes Portland. People on YouTube are like, yeah, that seems about right. But they're not pulling anybody. And I would say that the Warriors are almost closer to Portland than the Warriors are to like the Nets, given the way that free agency shook up this past year. Now, maybe you disagree with that. That's okay. I'm just saying, remember the last 2 years. Remember how bad it was the year after Kevin Durant left. Remember how hard the Warriors had to work to find one way that they could play basketball and win games last year. Remember how bad it got, and do not take this success for granted. It is well earned. It is sustainable. This is the good stuff, folks. I'm not telling you to sell your Warriors stock. Far from it. But just remember that nothing is forever. And to get a second chance like this in the NBA, that is a rarity upon all rarities. The Warriors shouldn't be taking it for granted by messing around and trying to get a record, 2 records, for Steph Curry last night. They should just keep their mind to the task at hand, keep that appropriate fear, as Steve Kerr likes to call it, and understand that everyone's out to get him again. Home, away, everyone's out to get him again. Remember that. They didn't remember that last night. They got away with it because Portland's a bad team. They won't get away with it against better teams. And Warriors fans, you just got to remember that none of this is guaranteed. All of this is inherently fleeting, and that the Warriors were not long ago in the same sort of nadir that all these other laughable teams that are coming in, these laughing stocks that the Warriors don't have to care about, were in. And karma has a fun way of coming around. Nothing is guaranteed in this league. Warriors need to start taking care of business a little bit better. Did not care for the professionalism of last night's game. But it's a win, and we can move on to a big road trip. But first, I got to tell you about Shopify. Now, Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage a business, subscription-based software. It's subscription-based, so like you don't have to buy a bunch of stuff and certain fees every month. Good to go. Lets anyone set up an online store and sell their products. Anybody. Shopify store owners can also sell in physical locations using Shopify POS, our point-of-sale app, and accompanying hardware. Now, let me tell you this. Shopify powers over 1.7 million businesses, and you can be one of them. It's from first sale to full scale. It reaches customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and apps. So this is the big stuff here. People are on Facebook. People are on Instagram. People are on TikTok. People are on Pinterest. And you can get them inside those apps with Shopify. Just go to shopify.com/lockedonnba. That's all lowercase. For a free 14-day trial and get access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/lockedonnba, all lowercase, right now. Shopify.com/lockedonnba. Locked On Warriors is also brought to you by TrueBill. So listen, the subscription that we just sold you, that's going to stick around. But there's a lot of them that you probably got going on that credit card bill, on your PayPal account, on your debit card, that you're thinking, what was the last time I used this? What is this thing that I keep getting charged for? Let me tell you, these businesses want you to forget about them. They want you to hold on to their subscriptions. They don't want you to cancel. They just want to take $9.99 from you every month until you die, and probably after that. TrueBill is the app that kills that off. Let them die before you. It's the app that lets you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or you simply forgot about. And trust me, a lot of them are the latter. On average, people save $720 a year with TrueBill. That's a lot of cash. Companies make these subscriptions hard to cancel, folks. TrueBill makes it really simple. There's the problem. Here's the easy solution. Just link your accounts, and TrueBill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. And your TrueBill concierge is there when you need them to cancel unwanted subscriptions, so you don't have to. This is really good stuff. I've used it before. I think it's a total game changer. Don't fall for subscription scams like your boy Dieter. Start canceling today, like your boy Dieter, at truebill.com/lockedonnba. Go right now, truebill.com/lockedonnba. It could save you thousands a year. Truebill.com/lockedonnba.
You are Locked On Warriors, your daily Golden State Warriors podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Dieter Kurtenbach back with you, Locked On Warriors. Thank you so much for making Locked On Warriors your first listen of every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Warriors got a little roadie coming up here, right? They wanted to get Steph Curry the Chase Center record. They wanted everybody to see it at home. I get it. It was kind of gross when you think about it in retrospect, but now that problem is gone. Steph Curry's going to break the record on the road. There's nothing that anyone can do about it because he's Steph Curry, and he will certainly not go 5 games without making 10 total threes. And it starts in Philadelphia on Saturday. That would be a cool game for Steph Curry to do it with his brother in attendance. Philadelphia, I don't know, this is a big city. It'll certainly be on national TV. That's a nice opportunity. But here's where I'm thinking. If we really want to break down this 3-point record, I just want to get this thing over with. So the sooner the better. So Philadelphia would be great. But if the Warriors are conscious of sort of history and scene is a very important part of history, what about the Garden next Tuesday? How about that? Because the Warriors have a back-to-back, Indiana at New York on Monday and Tuesday of next week. At some point, they're going to have to do a rest day for Curry, for Draymond, for everybody. Indiana, of the options available to the Warriors on the schedule, seems like the best day to do it. Now, is that fair to the fine folks in Indiana? No. But ultimately, this is the way the NBA is played. If Adam Silver wants to find the Warriors, I'm sure they'll take it. And actually, I'm sure Adam Silver has no problem with this because it might set up Steph Curry to break the 3-point record at the Garden. I don't know why that feels so heavy. I don't know why that feels so big, but it's big. It's heavy. That'd be cool as hell. And that feels like the most appropriate place to do it. Over the last couple of days, maybe weeks if we're really stretching it out, people have been talking about the 3-point record a little bit. And people have been sort of, going back down memory lane over Steph Curry's career. When did you know that Steph Curry was a different beast? They asked Richard Jefferson. And Richard, I thought appropriately said when he dropped 50 in the Garden. And I think for a lot of people, when Steph dropped 50 in the Garden was the first moment that they went, oh, this is different. This guy's got something that no one else has. And it went all the way back to Davidson, but being able to do it in the NBA on the big stage, I guess against a good Knicks team, I don't even remember at that juncture, but doing it there, it just carries more weight. We can pretend as if it doesn't, but it does. And so that would be a really cool place for Steph Curry to finalize this 3-point record chase. And so the Warriors can go back to playing some regular damn basketball. Because whatever they did last night was not the normal output from the Golden State Warriors. And I like the normal output. I think the normal output is fantastic. There's a couple other things that I think that they need to keep in mind on this road trip. One, I mean, they gotta keep winning games. Two, I think they got to rest some guys. As I mentioned before, I think that there's got to be some opportunities here to rest some guys. It's tough because it's Philadelphia, Indiana, New York, Boston, Toronto. There's only one bad team on that stretch. And that's the only time they go to Indiana. So it feels somewhat unfair, but it's going to be unfair to somebody somewhere. Now, Steph has some connection to Toronto. His wife's from Toronto. His dad played for Toronto. He's not going to have anything to be chasing by the time he gets to Toronto. Full stop. He's going to have the record well before that. Against the Knicks on Tuesday seems like an ideal day. Knock down 6 or 7 against Philadelphia. Take the day off against Indiana. Sorry, Pacers fans, including my buddy JJ, who's probably going to the game. And then take the record against the Knicks at the Garden. That seems like a slam dunk. Here's the thing that I really am focusing on as we head into this really interesting 2 back-to-backs, interesting road trip for the Warriors on the East Coast. Let's see some Kuminga and Moody, huh? Let's see the young kids get some run, not just against Indiana if that's the game the Warriors decide they want to rest everybody in. Let's see some Kuminga and Moody like in the regular rotation. Let's get some youth involved in this thing. I just want to see a lot more bodies as of late. And Steve Kerr is very cool about this. This is what you get when you make a former end-of-the-bench guy, at least for a certain stretch, the head coach of a team. He is always going to take care of his bench dudes. That is his motto, beyond his politics, which are very clearly manifesting on the court. He just wants to make sure that his bench guys are taken care of. And I think it's a good model. The Warriors don't need to, yes, they need to keep winning games. They need to maintain their record, but they need to start playing their best basketball. And they're never going to find out what their best basketball is unless they experiment a little bit more. And it feels like the experimentation has sort of died down just a smidge from where it was at the early point of this season. I think that Suns game locked in the team, and now they need to come out of that a little bit, at least before Christmas. Try out some stuff here on this road trip, on some kind of just weird in and out stuff that we got going on around the holiday. It will be, yeah. I think that that's probably the way to handle it. I mean, you got Sacramento and Memphis right before Christmas. Christmas is on a Saturday this year. Good luck to us. And Denver, just take these games before that Phoenix game, and let's get weird with it. Kuminga and Moody have been in the G League, and they've been killing it. They've been absolutely killing it, and to the point where it's somewhat laughable that they're down there. It's nice that they're getting run. I think it's invaluable that the Warriors have a team in Santa Cruz that not only knows the way that they play basketball at the NBA level, but can help reinforce or enforce some of the things that they do in a more acute manner down in the G League. So all this is really good stuff. I'm very pro G League. I'm very pro what they're doing down there, but they're too good for the G League. We can just call it like it is. And getting them some run, as we saw with Kuminga, getting some run at the 4. Hey, Andrew Wiggins isn't bringing the athleticism tonight. Let's throw in Kuminga and see if he can open this game up a little bit. Wiggins has been so much better as of late that Steve Kerr hasn't thought I need to do that anymore. Moody hasn't found a role yet, but I need to see Bjelica and Porter and even Damian Lee, who's coming off of an injury. Like, let's see them get some rest here, and let's see Moses Moody take some serious run. And if that sacrifices a game, so be it. But, you need to find out if these guys can actually contribute for you, not just now, but as the season progresses. Is there enough meat on this bone to where, hey, we need to find ways to get them in here so that they can be valuable 5 to 10 minute bit players for us come playoff time. I know the rotations get shorter, but you got to find a role. You got to find a circumstance where you like having these guys on the floor, or not. Find out that you don't, in which case these guys are very much stuck in the middle because they are way too good to be down in the G League. That's the show. Cyrus will have you tomorrow. I got to tell you about our good friends at Stance. Just like Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga are too good for the G League, Stance was too good to just be making socks. This stuff is stupid comfy, and so now they're doing a whole range of active apparel. It's holiday gift giving time, and Stance is the coolest gift you can give. You gotta touch this stuff, man. I was at the mall the other day. I was down in San Diego for a wedding. They had a Stance store. I walk in, I'm touching. It's like, what is this, space fabric? What is this? It's not even, it's elastic and rayon. Oh my goodness. It feels so delightful. And you put it on your feet. I bought a pair of socks. You put it on your feet, man. And it's just another world. Just another world. I can't go back. I can't go back to other socks. I can't go back to the Costco brand, not after putting on Stance. And now you're telling me, as I'm reading here, you're telling me that they have underwear and apparel and sweatpants and sweatshirts. And no, You can't tell me that this stuff exists and not expect me to want to put it on. Stance changed the mindset of everything. They added color, comfort, and creativity like no other. And man, they got some cool designs as well. Not everything's for me. Don't get me wrong. Wu-Tang Clan, Batman, Goonies, Star Wars, The Office, Harry Potter, Disney, Marvel, Bob Marley, Major League Baseball. Okay, that's a little bit more my speed. NBA, Pixar. I mean, the socks are incredible. It's just great stuff. It's super comfortable, and the quality is really high. So a lot of times you get some, especially like the image socks and stuff, and it just starts stretching out. And now Dwight Schrute has a 7 head, and it's just gross. That's not going to happen with Stance socks. They're going to stay in place. You got some cool graphics going on, maybe too cool for me. They're going to actually hold their shape, and people are going to love them, man. I see the kiddos out here all the time. I live right by a high school. You can see the kiddos coming in and out of school, going to lunch. When I'm going to lunch, it's very unsettling, honestly. The youths are going to gang up and probably beat me up at some point. But I see them wearing Stance. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should get some Stance. I can be cool too, right? No, apparently not. But nevertheless, I know that the cool kids are about it. I know that I'm not a cool kid, but even I got a little bit of Stance on the side just because, well, it's super comfy and everybody can get down with comfort. Stance believes the perfect fit matters more than fitting in, that those who feel good do good. Go see for yourself. Register an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. That's going to do a nice little chunk there. Use the promo code LOCKEDON at checkout to apply. That's 15% off if you use the promo code LOCKEDON at stance.com. Enjoy the color and comfort of life, of a life less ordinary. See, this is why I'm barely getting through this read. My life is very ordinary. I'm trying to enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary. I'm trying, Stance, but it's just not naturally happening. I need to get more of your stuff, and then maybe I can enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. Also want to tell you, again, thanks for making Locked On Warriors your first listen every day. My man Cyrus will have you tomorrow. Now you should go and make Locked On Bets your second listen. It's a daily one-stop shop for all your gambling needs. Locked On Bets. It's hosted by your boy Q with expert analysis, sterling analysis from Lee Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. I'm Dieter Kurtenbach. We're going to be doing it like this for a while to come. Probably Mondays, Cyrus and I get together, do the pod. Me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Cyrus Wednesdays and Fridays. Sometimes we might do the joint show on a Friday. We'll figure that one out. But until then, stay golden.